everybody. Oh, I always do that. It's everyone, not everybody.
You know what? If it comes out everybody, then maybe it's supposed to be everybody for you and everyone for me.
Maybe. Well, if you're a one or you're a buddy, welcome. This is Universal Connections Oracle Chats. I'm Erin Lee of Heavenly Messenger, and joining me, as always, is my beautiful friend, Miss Bobbi Rowntree, born medium.
I know it's me. I'm that guy.
It is. It's you. And it's me. And we're here with all of our amazing people.
Yes, our wonderful people.
Yes.
Thank you so far.
Yes. And really quickly before we start, hello to Ruth and to Pat. It is wonderful to see you
together.
Yes, and Carrie and Brenda and Carrie, thank you for saying hello to everybody. It's wonderful.
Yes, to the Universal Connection tribe, the Orkellians.
And we're here. So I didn't mention this to you, Bobbi. We usually take a couple minutes before we go live. We had a couple of questions that came up at the end of our show last week that we said that we were going to talk about this week. Right. So I've written those down.
Okay.
And we have a couple of other things that we wanted to talk about. And of course, we'd love to hear from you, the questions that you have. So if you have general questions, no readings, please pop them in the comments. Would love to check in with you. But before we do that, I wanted to announce to everybody something really fun and exciting that Bobbi is doing. So our amazing Miss Bobbi Rowntree, born medium, has put herself out there. She's put herself forward and is part of the Fab Over 40 vote that is happening right now. So basically, it is to support fundraising for breast cancer research. And every day people can go on and they can do free votes for you to help you in your category. Or if they would like to donate to breast cancer research, you can do that as well. And if you do that through Bobbi's page, then she gets additional votes, which is really exciting.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I've looked at it. I've looked it all up.
I have you. That's hilarious.
So I think I have the link and I'm just popping it into the comments, and it's funny because it goes to all of the places that we're live right now. So it goes to your YouTube and my YouTube and your Facebook and my Facebook and the Universal Connections.ca Facebook as well. So if you want to vote for Bobbi, you can totally do that. But I think we should give you an opportunity and ask, like, why have you been drawn to do this?
Yeah, because this was a tough one for me.
Yeah.
Mostly because the magazine is called Beauty Magazine.
Right.
Which just makes it feel because we're judging our looks and things.
Hold on. Yeah. It's actually called New Beauty Magazine.
New Beauty. Oh,
New
okay.
Beauty.
Is an excellent caveat because new beauty, meaning I actually don't think it has anything to do with our physical beauty. It has to do with women who are doing things that empower other women. Yeah. And one of the reasons I'm doing it, well, one, it kept on flopping up, and I kept, and then a little voice inside my head said, no, you should look at this, because if I win this, then I can tell them all about Orkellians. I can start actually talking about what we do in a 2-page spread in a magazine that is accepted by the general public. To me, it is a way of bringing what we do to a mainstream. And then I saw the breast cancer thing, went, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because all of you mostly know that I lost somebody in the spring that was incredibly special to me. And I lost her to breast cancer. And it was a resurgence of her breast cancer, or a reoccurrence, I should say. She had it when she was our age. Age, I'm 10 years older than you.
And okay, we're the same age.
Yes, okay. And she beat it. It was gone, and it came back. And she did everything she could to get rid of it, but she could not get rid of it. So if I can do something that will help that research, and actually to me, it's kind of like my Auntie Patty is saying, do this, Roberta.
Yeah.
Which is not, if I told her I'm doing a thing for New Beauty Magazine, she'd be like, what are you doing? If it was New Woman, that would be different.
Right.
beauty is that word. So that is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it so that we can be heard a little bit more. That sounds so I'm doing it for us. I don't want to throw up on myself, but I think you guys know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. If you know me,
I think what you mean is that you're doing it for all of us to help to make it easier for all of us to be as we are in the mainstream.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that I can say, this is what I do unabashedly.
Yeah.
So I can say, I am a medium. Mediums exist. Psychics exist. I work with this amazing woman named Erin and blah, 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 blah. And that is my plan. That is my hope. That is what I would like to be able to do.
I love it. I love it. That's exciting. And there were two things that I wanted to point out there about like new beauty. And one of the things that you had mentioned was, if it was new woman, but beauty embraces so much more than women.
It really, really, really does. The earth itself is beauty. And I think beauty is the first thing I think of was my garden.
Yeah.
And a tree or something like that. So yeah, it's a new way of looking at beauty too, maybe.
Absolutely. And like I think of beauty as being something that now can be experienced by men as well, or that they can be described as beautiful too. So, like in New Woman, it kind of pigeonholes, but this then becomes about everybody.
You're right.
I don't know if that's what their thought is, but when I read it, I'm like, oh man, new beauty, wonderful. Let's look at a new way of experiencing beauty in all things.
Yes. Okay. Groovy. I love that idea. Yes.
I like it.
Well, and is I almost want to say, what do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments.
I do that. I did. I asked you last night. I said I felt very weird about it. And I asked you what you thought of me doing something like that. And you were very supportive, of course, because you're you and you're so supportive. But every now and again, you have to, hear stuff like that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think anytime that somebody steps out and says, world, universe, this is who I am, here I am, like, and they're unabashedly being themselves, I think that's something we need to support and encourage. Yes. And I think it's awesome and amazing. And in doing it, you're wanting to help people, which I think just makes that amazing even more amazing. It's like amazing squared.
Yeah, well, it's like, because if you're not doing things with the motivation of what it can do for everybody else as well as you, I don't know why you're doing it. Because the happiness of the group is the happiness of you.
Exactly.
As well. Yeah, and I could carry earrings and hold a carry crystal. Yes, I almost wore those. Oh, good thing I do. We would have had matching earrings.
I know. We're matchy today.
We are very matchy. We're both wearing black. All right. Do you want to say hello to everyone again?
Yes, because I realized that I put the comment in, but we hadn't spoken to everybody yet. So I'm going back to Carrie. And so hello to Brenda and Chantal. It's always so good to see both of you.
Yes.
And Rose and Phyllis. And Carrie says every time you say your
Orkellian, I think is what that.
Yeah, I think it's Orkellian. I think so. I get shivers. That's amazing. That's awesome. I get
because you're one.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You're part of the group. And Leslie, I'm going to apologize to Leslie. Leslie says, hello, you two keep changing sides of the screen. You know what that does to people with OCD.
I'm sorry, Leslie. It depends on when we get here.
Yeah. So, I mean, hold on. We can quickly fix that. Let me fix that.
Okay.
Me and then you.
All right. Are you okay, Leslie? I get it. I totally get it. What does your egg carton look like, Leslie? That's an OCD thing. I cannot leave it. If I take some out, oh my God. And if my husband takes out an egg and now I have an odd amount of eggs in the carton and I can't make a pretty pattern.
Yep.
Oh my golly.
Yeah.
Nine I can get. Leslie knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right.
Awesome. And so we're going to keep going. We've got Jerry too. Hi, Jerry. And Jerry says no reading. I know there are no readings today, but in 3 days, I will be married 59 years. It would warm my heart to hear a message from my Viking. He said he would come through to you today.
I think that might have been my floor thing.
Oh, it could be. Let's talk about the floor thing.
A weird thing happened, Jerry, and I don't know if that has anything to do with your feller, but I had a candle. I have a new cauldron, and I put a candle underneath it, and the flame was far too close to the cauldron, and it created a lot of the ash part that you get at the end of the wick. Is there a name for that?
I think it's soot.
Oh, soot.
I think it's soot. You know, like what Santa gets on his boots.
Of course it's soot. Oh my God, a day of readings and melty. Anyway, so I looked and there was soot all over my floor. My feet were covered in soot, and I had to wash my floor and wash my feet. And my light almost fell on me. And I was like, what is happening? That's what I did. And as soon as I read that, I resaw that.
Yeah.
So it could be actually, because a little part of me is actually seeing a man standing and giggling at me. I don't know if a similar thing happened to Jerry where her feet got dirty and she had to wash her feet. I don't know. So I don't know if that, Anyway.
So when you mentioned it to me, immediately I saw grounding. That, you know, what a wonderful way to ground, by clearing your space, clearing your feet, like that connection that you have to the space in your home. So grounding.
Yeah, well, and soot to me has a certain connotation when it comes to an Indigenous person on the other side.
Oh, interesting.
Because of the burning rituals and the ashes to ashes, dust to dust sort of, but ashes to ashes, dust to dust is more about other way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But to me, that's the first thing that came to my mind, because ash, it has to do with letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And so Okie dokie.
You know, I just realized in this moment that I don't often take time to breathe during our shows, because we just like go, 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 go. But that just, I needed to take a breath with that. And it was very like resetting. Not only
you're cleansing in my head.
Yeah. It's like not only grounding, but it's like resetting and rebalancing, and cleansing totally fits with that too.
Yeah. And honestly too, Jerry, I'm hearing in my head the burning of tobacco. So there might be a clearing thing. And honestly, it actually even might have to do with something about bursting Jerry's husband over into a higher level. And possibly to match Jerry, because Jerry's already at the high levels, but still in the meat suit. Yeah. So, okie dokie. Should we say hello to still more to people?
Yes. And Carrie, I so love and appreciate. Carrie's like, yes, spread the word. So that's awesome.
Yeah, let's spread the word. And even if I don't win the spread, possibly this will bring more attention to what we do and the type of people we are and those sorts of things. I'm trying to share it on my Facebooky sort of stuff so people know I'm a weirdo.
Amazing. I love it.
Affectionately. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. You say Ang or Ange?
Well, I say Ange because often it is like short for like Angela. Yeah. So I'm hoping that I have that right for you. And Angie's wondering what we're talking about today. Well, we're talking about a couple of things. We've got the questions that we're going to get to in a moment. And we're going to talk about accepting help today too. So
because the me asking for vote for me. Oh
yeah. There was actually a reason that came up for me yesterday. Hold on, we'll finish saying hello to everybody and then let's get into it, because otherwise we're never going to get through saying hello.
It's so rubbing off on you. It's crazy.
I'll bring it back to ground. Okay.
Back to center.
Awesome. Hello to Valerie. And we've got some yups and yeses from Ruth and Valerie. Awesome. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder from Jerry. Absolutely. It's a warm and pleasant feeling. Thank you. And we've got more. And hello to JC and to Suzanne. Leslie, good. Leslie's better. I'm glad.
Yes, the eggs are a big deal. Big freaking deal. Yeah.
Hello, Sarah. Thank you for including everybody in your hello.
Yes, that is. Yeah, and everyone.
Yeah, everyone too. Not everybody, everyone.
Yeah, I'm a dick about that. Yeah.
And Carrie's saying yes. So Oh, where have I been going while I've been asleep? I remember slivers, and it was not a familiar feeling. Interesting. Okay, hold on. We're starting to get into some questions. I want to really quickly go into the things that we were going to talk about, and then we're going to come back to Carrie. Is that all right with you?
Yes, oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So we also wanted to talk today about accepting help. And when Bobbi sent me the message last night and she said, Erin, like, what do you think about sharing this? I'm like, yes, absolutely. Let's do it. And I knew that it was hard because I know you.
Mhm.
And I know that accepting help is hard. And it was something that was on my mind already because of what I did yesterday. So I have this area outside of my front door that has been waiting for a patio that I've been meaning to work on since like the end of April, beginning of May. I had all of the things that I needed to do it. I kept collecting things. I had people lined up to help me, and for whatever reason things kept falling through. I'm like, I'm not able to do this myself. And then I kind of randomly had help over on the weekend, last weekend and this weekend, and now the project is finally done. And I thought,
Oh, wonderful.
and it took a huge amount of stress off of my plate. And I remember one of our friends, one of the people that Bobbi and I know, Connie, had a similar experience a couple of weeks ago. Her husband has, I believe it's Alzheimer's and not it's Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Dementia?
Well, she is on her dementia journey. That is actually what she puts out. So I would say,
Okay, so he has dementia, and she had posted a couple of weeks ago that she had this garden area in front of her home that she was
Mhm.
trying to get done, that she just wasn't able to do it, and she'd kind of built so much up in her mind that the idea of even doing it became a stressor. So it was a stressor in the fact that it wasn't done, and it was a stressor that she was thinking about it. She had to do it because it happened all at about the same time things had shifted and changed with her husband, and he was needing more help, and it just became a big thing. And she had posted that she had finally she asked for help, she'd found the right person to help her, and now it had completely transformed the space. And this thing that had caused and created huge amounts of stress for her was now a place of like rest and comfort, and it was welcoming and warm and inviting.
yeah, the pictures are groovy.
It's so groovy. And I went through exactly the same experience yesterday as we were putting the finishing touches on this project that had been like a huge stressor for me for months. And it was because I'd come to this point in this place where like I know that I can't do it on my own, but getting it done is going to mean that I'm going to have to accept help. And that was hard, you
Mhm.
know. And I suspect that many of our Orkellians are like you and I, Bobbi, in that it is difficult for us to accept help because we're better at being the helpers.
Yeah, we're women. We're women. If you accept help, you're less of a woman. Less of a woman. You have to accept help from another woman usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree completely. And this would be an accepting help thing too. What I'm going to do as well.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that you got your patio done.
I know. I
Can't wait
know.
for the photos.
I know. I
Oh,
even
photos.
I had a whole pile of selenite left over because I used to sell crystals, but I'm not doing shows anymore, and I'm not having people at my house anymore, so I'm not selling crystals anymore. So I had a whole schwack of selenite that I put all the way around the patio to just make it like a really uplifted space. So
Wow.
there are still some things that need to be done. Like I've got a door that I'm going to be painting and putting in, and I'm putting in like a clematis plant that's going to be climbing. But the patio is laid. It is a functioning space now. And it means that the rest of the area around it can now be addressed too, which is also important. So
Yes, that's exciting. And I have the paint for your door.
amazing. Thank you.
It's gotta be purple, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It needs to be purple.
I just painted mine purple, actually. So, same paint. I got tons of it. It was
Amazing.
a
I love
misprint.
it.
'Cause I was
Awesome.
Okie dokie. Yeah, no,
Okay. So shall we segue back over to Carrie?
absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, we should.
Okay, so Carrie has asked a question that I think that we could probably put into more general terms. So she's asking about where she's been going while she sleeps, and she says that she remembers familiar, and it was not a familiar, and it cuts off. But I'm experiencing, or pardon me, I think she means like a familiar experience or place or feeling. So
Yeah, well, as we read it, Marie came up to me, so I thought maybe it means a familiar.
Oh,
But I
oh,
wasn't sure.
right. Yeah.
Remember silvers, and
I
it was
think
not.
slivers.
Oh, it's oh, it is slivers. I changed it to silvers because that made more sense.
Yeah.
Like slivers in her body or in her hand?
Well, I think that it's more like she could remember slivers of it, like little bits and
Oh,
pieces.
that makes sense. I've never heard slivers used in that way.
Oh, really?
No,
Oh,
I've never heard
yeah.
that.
It's just like a little bit. It's not like the whole chunk of wood. It's just the sliver that's caught in your hand.
Well, maybe I have, and I just went straight to literal. Okie dokie, but it was not a familiar. Okie dokie. Honestly, when I read that question, I see the place they take me sometimes because they take me to lots of different places.
Yep.
And sometimes I go to this place where it feels like I'm in space.
Mm.
And I always wonder if I'm cold, but I don't feel cold, but I think I should be cold because I feel like I'm a star in space.
Mm. And for me, I do lots of, I wouldn't call it astral travel, but I do like dream learning, and I end up in different classrooms. And I know that there are several times when I have ended up in a classroom, and I very obviously wasn't ready to be there yet. And so I wonder, it may have been the introduction of like a classroom or a new experience, like a new place that you are going to become familiar with.
Yeah, and I'll bet you anything as she goes through her days for the days coming up, it will start to, oh,
Yeah.
it was in my dream. Oh my God, that's what they're saying that because
Yeah.
they
And
do
little bits and pieces, slivers even start to come together.
because they want you to get it
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
supposed to. So yeah, pay attention to everything else, Carrie.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
know what? I think that comment that you made, that they want you to get it, I think that's really important and kind of profound to share with people.
Mm,
when
yes.
when we're connecting with anyone, like the other side, angels or spirit guides or like source or whoever or whatever you're connecting with, they want you to get it. They want you to understand.
Mhm.
So if there's something that you don't understand, ask for help, ask for clarification. Sometimes it's easier to ask yes and no questions, only because that's easier for you to like answer and to receive. So if you have some thoughts and ideas about what it could be, is it this? Is it that? And I'm seeing Bobbi's message when she's getting close.
On the nose or just about.
just,
Yeah.
just all around.
Yeah. And I always tell people don't ask them the no. If it's yes, show me this because they run on positive. You start asking them to show you a no, and they're gonna be like, "What is a no?"
Right.
That's a human thing, you silly gooses. Yeah.
Really great point too. Yeah. Awesome.
So, okie dokie. Now the question right below,
Yes.
and actually, it's kind of for everyone. May I read it?
I think so. I'm wondering if we're seeing a different question, but go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Please,
Yes.
please keep my friend in thoughts. Lost hubby and struggling. Love and blessings all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, all I hear is sending love.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't even need to know Elizabeth's friend's name. We just say I'm sending love to Elizabeth's friend because
Yeah.
so. Oh, I'm glad she has Elizabeth.
Yeah. And I think that also goes back to part of the theme that we had for today and asking for help, being in a tricky spot and just reaching out and saying, hey, I'm struggling. I'm having a hard time. I need just a little bit of help. Or in this case, Elizabeth's asking on behalf of somebody else.
Yeah, which is absolutely flippin' beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. And do you see what Carrie says? Oh, we got people say hello to before I say that.
Yes, we've got Leslie sending love and good energy. And hi from Corrine and from Joanne. And Jerry's saying, yes, that is his sense of humor. He was also cremated and is sitting by my dresser to this day.
His ashes.
Ashes.
That's
So
why I heard ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Yeah.
Because he wanted me to be on the ashes thing.
Yeah.
That's good.
And Jerry, you might need to just go and wash your feet.
Yeah.
Before you get into bed at night. Wash your feet.
Yeah. Know that your husband's so dang good that he can do that in some strange lady's house.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. And hello to Chrissy and Claudia and Julia and Chantel. And Chantel saying people already know that she's a weirdo.
Being a weirdo's good.
I think they know we're weirdos too. So you're in good company. Or I mean, like, I hope that means you're in good company being with us.
Yeah, it does. We're wonderful. Especially you.
Especially me, indeed. Indeed. Hello to Virginia.
Hi,
Oh,
Virginia. Yeah.
Virginia. Yeah,
You can answer to this one because
I can. So Virginia's saying, why do I feel so incredibly terrible right now? I'm at the end of my rope, and I can really relate with where you are, because all week this week I've said, I'm not at the end of my rope. I am at the end of the thread at the end of my rope. It's like there's absolutely nowhere else to fall to. And so I just keep clinging. So first of all, I want you to know that you're not alone, because I'm definitely with you there. And actually, just feeling that there are other people in the same or similar spot almost makes it a little easier to hold on, because I think when we're at the end of our rope, it's when we are most disconnected from people, from support, and probably from like God, source, universe, whatever your belief system is. Like we're feeling disconnected from that, and feeling really alone. Why feeling incredibly terrible right now? I have to say, I haven't had the ability to tap into that to see what's going on, because it's been just about balancing and surviving. But I do know that Bobbi has been getting messages from a lot of people in same or similar place too. So Bobbi, what's come up for you with that?
I see it. Okay, because when you said at the end of your rope, I actually heard the end of a cycle. That's what I heard in my head. And honestly, it's like a moon cycle. This is I think it actually has to do a little bit with Samhain and the time of year it is.
Yeah.
Because this is the time of year when we're supposed to be letting go. The plants are going back into the earth. Everything is going to bed in preparation for the rest of winter. It's not going back in the it's like it's August out there.
Yeah.
It is I think it's honestly throwing people for a loop, because when my plants have thrown for a loop. My roses keep still making roses.
I have roses blooming outside my door right now, and it's the middle of October.
The middle of October.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be just like the spring, where it was one day it was gross, and the next day it was like, oh my God, it's summer. And it just stayed summer. And I think we're going to wake up and go, oh my God, it's winter. Wow. But there's something going on with it. There's something different happening. And I think it has to do with, I keep seeing the moon and the cycles in the earth.
Yep.
I think we're so much more connected to Gaia than we believe we are. And then when we get all whacked out, we don't realize that it's actually because our mother is all whacked out. And Virginia actually adds on to that the end of her rope means the end of her time. And okay. I actually hear in my head, and please excuse this, you will not know when you're going to die. You will just leave. Yeah. That's what they say in my head. So just don't think about it like that. But what a stupid thing to say. I'm sorry, Virginia. There. I'm with my old fan for you. Yeah. It was a silly thing to say. It really was. It was like saying, oh, I understand your grief. Oh, you don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's a tough one. And I hear it as cycle too.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's popping out for me as you're talking about that, we're coming up to a pretty significant new moon. I believe it's this coming weekend. I haven't looked to see. Oh no, it's the 28th. Oh, is it really the 28th? No, hold on, you guys. I have to take a really quick pause, because I feel like that's wrong.
Moonology diary.
I know. Oh yeah, hold on. I have it right here. Hold on a second.
March, September.
Okay.
October.
Full moon, October. We are
25th. Well, that's the full moon.
the new moon. The new moon is October 25th. Good. So it's not 2 weeks away. It is October the 25th. And here in Western Canada, it will be at 3:48 a.m. on the 25th. And the 25th, I believe, is next Monday. It is next Tuesday. Not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday. We are a lot closer to the full moon than I thought we are.
Oh, yeah. It's wackadoo. My cat keeps getting me out of bed. Won't let me go back into bed. I just have to go and lay with her.
Yeah.
And she's acting like there are people around us that she needs to hiss at. It's, last night I was like, seriously, I have 3 readings and a live feed tomorrow. My God.
It's full on. Yeah.
It's full on. Why are you waking me up, Marie? But she's like, I don't care. I don't care about your life, woman.
Yeah.
Come and sit with me. So and if Marie is my little familiar.
Yes.
She's my kitty cat.
She's pretty sweet.
It's my sweet little goddess kitty who I swear to God knows more. She's right over here. So this is why.
Yeah. So we have to say nice things.
Because she's been acting so weird lately.
Yeah.
So weird this week. Yeah. And I actually been blaming it on the moon and the moon cycle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew we were coming up close to the moon. Like I follow the full moon a little more closely than I follow the new moon because it's easier because you see it.
Yeah.
But I could definitely tell leading up to the full moon and after the full moon, people's energy and their behavior and their driving was so erratic. I was either almost in or witnessed so many car accidents in that couple of days leading up to the full moon itself, and then a couple of days after. So it's definitely intense.
I have heard from ER nurses that you can actually mark the moon because people howl at it.
Yeah.
You know, we have not said hello to Tammy.
Hello, Tammy. No. Oh, yes. Tammy. And then Tanya right under.
Right under her.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Shelly.
I want to quickly pop back to Jerry as well. And Jerry said it's so much easier to give help than to accept it.
Yes.
It is. But one of the things that you can do if you are a person who is in help acceptance rehabilitation is what I'm going to call it. If you're in help acceptance rehabilitation, then, when we give to others, we feel good. And one of the best things when you're giving to somebody else is when they gratefully accept it.
Yes,
like there's a really big difference between, oh, no, you shouldn't have, and, oh, thank you. I'm so grateful for what you've given me.
Yeah, that's why in some cultures it's actually an insult to say no thank you to a gift.
I absolutely believe that. Yeah.
I agree with you.
And one of the best gifts that you can give to somebody is the gift of giving. So you, in receiving in a place of gratitude, rather than no, you shouldn't have, are giving to the person the gift of being able to give to you, and you have accepted that. You can give them that feeling of warmth, and I've been able to do something. The same is true when we help people. When we help, we feel good, we feel purposeful, we feel like we've done something to contribute. And you can give somebody else that feeling of purpose, that feeling of having contributed, that feeling of supporting somebody by accepting help when it's offered and potentially asking for help when you need it.
That is a very, very, very good point, because I have already started Christmas shopping.
Yes.
Because it tickles my fancy to nobody's business.
Yes.
I love finding the right thing for the right person. And I love it when the energy just keeps moving and going. And I keep finding stuff and it's like, oh my gosh. And if I find it used, even better. Excited. Yes. Even better. So yeah, it will be used. Anyway, but yeah, I completely and absolutely agree. I would actually even much rather buy everybody everything that's perfect for them for Christmas and then watch them open it.
Yes.
I don't need to, but you can't take away from them doing the same thing for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's almost like everybody needs their time to open everything from everybody so that you can effectively give like all of the gratitude and the thanks and the excitement. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Have you ever been hurt when someone won't accept help from you?
Yeah.
That it is kind of hurtful because it's like saying, no, you are not powerful enough to help me
Or good enough.
or good enough. Yeah. Yeah, and you shouldn't get hurt by it because other people's actions really aren't about you.
Nope.
But
Nope.
yeah,
But
we've been hurt before
yeah.
because I've reached out to help somebody and they've gone, yeah, back up.
Yeah.
It's actually my children.
That's a whole other ball of wax.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. And I think that Jerry's right. Jerry wrote to Virginia that she thinks it means a change in her path, which
Yeah.
makes sense with the cycle change that I saw too.
Yeah.
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 Thank you,
That
Jerry,
totally
for
makes sense.
contributing.
That totally makes sense.
Do they have to scare you?
I'm assuming that Ruth is referring to like deceased loved ones and spirit, and that's what my assumption's going to be. Actually,
Yes.
why don't we, instead of going into that too much further,
Clarification, Ruth.
Ruth, can you clarify for us? And we'll take a look in a second for your response.
Who's scaring you? I'll talk to them. Okie dokie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
yes.
Carrie's saying, yeah, time to turn on my dreams. I asked a few years ago not to remember them, but yes. And yes, no question. Great idea. Yeah, absolutely. Turn them back
there's
on again.
so much info in your dreams.
Yeah.
I got taken to the waiting room in my dreams. I love my dreams because my mind isn't saying that's not true.
Yeah.
It's just happening for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Accepting changes. Yeah, you know what? It's almost like life changes are almost our theme. Well, because I think everyone's kind of feeling the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
This need to shed, this need for difference, but then it's like it's not being shown to us that it's time for difference or shedding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, if we look at the seasons, I really like the take that you had. Like the fall is the releasing, the letting go, and then the winter is the quiet. Like it is the death, it is the ending. And then spring is when we have like fresh new start and fresh new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And because the seasons have been doing their thing for so long, we trust that will be the process. But when we're living in it, we don't necessarily see it, because how do you completely embrace an ending when you don't have that faith and hope for the next thing, for the new beginning? And so I think the more that, if you're in this position, the more that we look to where those beginnings are, that's
And for myself too, I have found that moving into the pagan holidays of yesteryear is helping me throughout the year to stay up. Because I used to only get to do that whole full holiday feeling at Christmas time.
Right.
And that's changed drastically for me. I actually call it Yule now. It's changed that much for me, and the trajectory of it has changed. But I love having Embolic and Beltane and then Samhain and then Yule. Those are the four, but within the Wiccan calendar. Well, it's on my Facebook page because Erin shared it. We're going to make that rosary.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. And you guys aren't going to know what this is, because I'm hoping that it's going to be a beginning. But are we going to do the video? We're going to do the dance too, right? We're going to do the dance. You guys, I'm not going to tell you which dance it is, but I need your help in the comments to convince Bobbi we need to do the dance.
Rest assured, it will make us look like a couple of dodo brains. So
Perfect.
It's like a dodo brains. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Elizabeth, thank you. You're a very good friend to your friend. Yeah. Now, I
feel like really quickly we've skipped over a couple people. So
did we? I'm sorry.
I think we may have. So hello to Shelly. You're our favorites too.
I said hello to Shelly.
Oh, did you? Oh, I totally missed it.
I just said hello, Shelly, like that. So I didn't let you in on it.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so did we talk to Sarah and I didn't realize it?
Well, we talked about what Sarah was talking about with the struggle and the navigation of the changes and how it's actually kind of a change right now.
Okay, good.
And I was going to Joanne's question.
Okay, I'm following with you. Okay, so to
Okay.
Joanne.
Okie dokie. I need help. So confused and overwhelmed. I am not sure if I'm acting on hurt feelings or what my hubby is wanting me to do. Interesting. I would love a
Hmm.
direct line to the other side. How do I know I am listening to my messages or making my own? What a good
I
question.
love this question.
Yeah.
And before I forget, that also piggybacks into one of the questions that we had left over from last week that I wanted to make sure we talk about. So,
Oh, as you do. So
so
we
for
can,
Joanne.
yeah, Joanne, yeah. And I actually hear confirmation outside of you
Hmm.
because it can be so difficult with your own folks
Hmm.
because you say something to them, and I've said it to, oh, that's what I'd want you to say, so that's why you said that. And that's always when my dad chastises me the most.
Hmm.
But it's because it's just so easy to believe that you're making it up in your head because you want it so bad.
Hmm.
Because this is one of the reasons I'm doing this dang contest.
Yep.
Because what we do is seen so much as fancy and not scientific and not actually real because it's going on with your feelings and your emotions and things like that. So just know, Joanne, absolutely no. And if you're acting on hurt feeling or what your hubby is wanting me to do,
Hmm.
I would actually ask your tummy.
Yeah.
What your tummy tells you is what you should. I just did a video on that.
So
It's going to be published tomorrow.
excellent.
On the
Well,
subject
that's perfect. So Jan, keep an eye out for Bobbi's video because it sounds like she's going to talk more and go
about
deeper.
her tummy. Yeah, it's about the solar
Yeah.
plexus chakra. I'm doing a chakra series. I just did the root, the sacral, and now I'm doing the solar plexus. We're doing the heart next.
Awesome.
I'm really excited about the heart.
and for me, like I don't connect with deceased loved ones in nearly as much, obviously, as Bobbi, and so my experience is a little bit different, because I connect more with angels. But for me, I know that it's right, or it's coming from outside of me when I feel really good about the message or about the choice or about the decision that is coming through. Because even if I'm getting a message that I don't want to hear, will always come with a feeling of love and support and encouragement, and that I can do it. So for me, differentiating between like what is like me making it up and what is something that's coming from outside of me is it comes with like an extra, it's almost like it comes with a hug from the inside.
Okay, and actually, Joanne could actually ask her angels to help assist her in her hearing. And maybe
Absolutely.
if she hears something from her loved one, the angels will bolster it.
Yes.
They will do that,
Yeah.
especially if it's an angel who is attached to your loved one on the other side,
Yeah.
because
Or
they all get them.
yeah, absolutely. Or if you want, I mean, you can call in angels, just like, whoever's there to help, or you can specifically call in Archangel Azrael. So Archangel Azrael in the past has been known as the angel of death because Archangel Azrael helps us to cross over to the other side when it's our time, and also helps those of us who are still here to process and to grieve. So he helps with like grief and grieving and counseling, but he also helps and supports communication between us and our loved ones on the other side. So definitely you can call on Archangel Azrael to help open up that communication and to clarify it and to make it stronger.
Okie dokie. Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Because the voices in my head said
Yeah.
Shamuel as well. And I think of Shamuel when I've lost something.
Yes. Shamuel also helps us in our soulmate relationships though,
I didn't know
too.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So Shamuel helps us with like finding things, yes, but also helps and supports us in like our soulmate relationships. So people often think about those relationships as being like our love life, our romantic relationships, which it is. But I mean, our soulmate relationship, like you and I have a soulmate relationship, right?
That we absolutely do.
Yeah. So the people who have come into your life, who are helping and supporting you, who are learning things, who are possibly hurting you along the way, family is almost always soulmate relationships because there are things that we're learning with them and from them. So yeah, I mean, when you've lost somebody that you're really close to, there's a soulmate connection that's there. So Shamuel will definitely help with that too.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Loss is so hard. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Rose.
Oh,
Rose
hold on. Oh, actually, yes. Rose also had a question from last week, but
question.
maybe we've already answered this. So this is a question from last week from Rachel.
Okay.
And Rachel was wondering, how do I communicate with spirit that I can see all around me in my room at home?
I remember that question.
Yeah, it came in right at the very end as we were signing off. So
That's right. Okie dokie. Yeah, and actually I actually hear in my head the best way too is to just try.
yeah.
And then the next thing they say is they wouldn't be there with you if they weren't there for you to hear and for them to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't think it's a negative energy, because that is a little bit different than having a earthbound spirit. Yeah, that is something I wanted to tell everybody at the Orachellians, because I haven't talked to everyone since Thanksgiving.
Let's talk about it.
Because I set the plate.
Yes. How did the plate setting go?
I said it and I told everyone. I said, screw it. I'm Bobbi Rowntree, born in India. I'm telling the family what I'm doing. Because I put it on its own little table and there was just the plate there. And my daughter was walking by with her wallet and a dime fell out of her wallet and fell on the plate.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And then another dime was found on the floor right by it. I was like, well done.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
It was such a great. I actually left the plate there for way too long. I was like, do I clear their plate? Are they finished eating? I don't know. So I cleared it on like Thursday.
You know what you tell them is you tell them if they're finished eating, they need to start dropping like loonies or something.
They need to be cleaned up after themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be very freaky though, to find the plate like smashed or something, because that's what would happen.
Right?
Actually lift the plate and carry it to the dishwasher, because this is not TV.
Yes.
But they could very easily just flip it onto the ground.
Yes.
That is something they could do. So thankfully they did not do that, because it was one of my aunt's old plates. So yeah.
So she was probably stopping them.
Yes, because it was Johnson ware.
Saying, no, you do not throw the plates.
Yes, they're $17 a plate. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I had to tell everyone that, because it actually worked. It actually, I made the decision to put the plate out, and the plate was used. So Christmas is coming.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome, and it was awesome to do that in front of my whole family and just flaunt my cuckoo, so that they could be okay with their cuckoo, because we all need to flaunt our cuckoo. Oh my God, that sounds like a totally different thing.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to call and knock before you visit Bobbi, because she might be flaunting her cuckoo.
I call it a vagina. Anyway.
We always end up there. You know, we don't intend to go there, but we always end up there.
I know it's me. I know that I am the one who takes us down into
what?
Yeah.
I just appreciate the break, because it's usually me. You just ask any of my Reiki students.
Oh, okay, goody. Okay.
Yeah. I had it was so sweet. I had a memory come up, and it was 5 years ago that I had one of my last Reiki classes that I taught. 4 years ago must be. And it was a picture. I always take pictures at the end of my Reiki classes, and I have a picture of everybody together.
Yes.
Yeah. And so anyway, it just reminded me of, how much fun and how much I love teaching and sharing, and that I'm sad it has been a while.
I think a lot of people, and that could be too what we're getting into now, is the pandemic kind of messed with people's brains a little bit, and they're still figuring out how to socialize. Because there's still fear factor.
Yeah.
There's socialization and things like that. Because I honestly, I know people complain, but I think people kind of liked being stuck in their homes.
I loved it.
There was no expectation. There was no. Yeah, I would love another lockdown. No, I'm sorry. Don't yell at me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%.
I kept my kids in the house. They all did university, just in the house. But yeah, if I had my way, I would just kind of handcuff everyone to the walls.
Yeah, just keep them. You're staying.
What are you doing now?
So So before we move on to Chrissy, her name has just popped in for me that I actually had something that I wanted to share and wanted to talk about. I
Okay.
have a friend on my Facebook page. I'm not going to name them because I don't think that's fair. But they had a parent pass in the last little while, couple weeks, maybe slightly longer. And one of the things that had come up for them was a sadness that they hadn't connected in the way that she had hoped to, that they had had a difficult relationship. And
Mm.
one of the things that I have experienced in the little bit of mediumship that I do is that there's actually a greater opportunity to connect with loved ones where there has been challenged relationship
Mhm.
once they cross over, because when we're here, we're dealing with all of the ego stuff. So, like mental health issues, addiction, other challenges, day to day life and living, and, like all of that that can prevent us from like connecting with our loved ones, can prevent us from being able to be there to connect with them. And so once that soul cross is over, there's the opportunity to connect with them at a soul to soul level. And the healing that I've seen in challenged relationships has been absolutely huge.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Well, it's like if you think about it this way, if you think about it like you just have an argument with someone and
Mhm.
they walked into a room, and when
Yeah.
they walked into that room, somebody was standing there and said, threw a mirror at them and said, "This is what you just did."
Yeah.
And that's what death is. You walk into the room and they go, "This is how you affected everyone. This is how you made them feel." And they put it in you.
Yeah.
So then, like, I have had people who have better relationships with their parents now
Mhm.
through the communication that comes through my head
Yeah.
than they did when they were here, because now the parents can see,
Mhm.
actually, you know what I heard in my head? What dicks they were being. But they can see the error of their ways. We
Mhm.
things from the other person's perspective. So that should
Yeah.
actually, you can tell the living,
Yeah.
when you have a conflict of some with somebody, put your feet
Mhm.
in their shoes
Mhm.
and walk in their shoes and look at yourself as though you are not perfect,
Mhm.
that you're flawed, and look from their perspective, because that might be what you're not seeing, is the other person's perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, just kind of to expand on that too, sometimes we have a limited capacity in what we're able to do and to see. And I'm definitely seeing that in older generations. The more that things are shifting and changing now, like the less they are able to maneuver with that and to see things from a different perspective, the more they kind of grind their heels in or dig their heels in. That's the
Mhm.
phrase.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And that,
Somebody's right.
once they cross over, they're able to see because they no longer have that ego that is present. And my experience, and you can help me with this, maybe that's wrong, but my experience is that there is greater compassion on the other side. And
Yes, yeah.
like
Yeah.
we've talked about compassion in the past. Like the more compassion you offer yourself, the more you have to offer to others. So if you're not offering compassion to yourself, there isn't anything left to offer to others. So if that's kind of the mindset and the mentality that you're working from, it's difficult to put yourself in somebody else's shoes because you don't have the capacity to offer yourself compassion. So how could you do it for somebody else?
I
Then
see.
you cross over to the other side and suddenly there's plenty of compassion because again, like all of those like ego things have dropped off, have dropped away. Now the soul has the capacity to do and to see and to perceive. You can connect at that deeper level.
I totally and completely understand what you mean, and I would call it balance and
Oh,
reality. So same
oh,
poop,
yeah,
different names. Yeah.
right. Yeah. Well, good. As long as we're talking about the same shit, that's all that
You're
matters.
right. I said, "Ooh, you said shit." That's
I know. It's all about the balance. It's all about the balance. You can't have all the swear words. I need to have some.
dang right. Yeah, Tammy has been feeling it too. She has been feeling the last unmotivated in the last few days. And Ruth, she has clarified on her dream. And you know
Oh,
what is the neatest thing actually about? Do you want to read it? Because then I'll tell you the neatest thing about it.
you go ahead because I'm
Okay.
not seeing Ruth's comment. I'm still
Oh, I
way up
see.
with Chrissy. So you go ahead.
Okay, things wasn't working, so I couldn't text you. Okay, that's what she's saying. I'm talking about my dreams. They're always scaring me. Do they have to scare me like that? It's the most amazing question, because
Mhm.
I have started watching Sad Guru,
Yep.
who, anyway, I shouldn't worship him because he would say, well, you worship me. That's what he would say. Isn't it so? He says, isn't it so much? Anyway, somebody asked him, why do I have scary dreams? If when I go to sleep, my subconscious mind is in charge, why are my dreams scary if my soul's in charge? And what he said to her, I went, oh, I never even thought of that.
Okay.
He said, your conscious mind is fearful.
Mm-hmm.
When your conscious mind is not there, your subconscious mind is left with the fearful feeling. And so it expresses and shows you what you're actually feeling and thinking deep down inside of you.
Yeah.
That's what that.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have thought of it that way had I not seen that video. This is why I watch videos.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they come up like that's the video I'm supposed to watch because Ruth is going to ask this question 3 days later.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? My mom has been telling me that since I was a kid too. Why do I have nightmares? Well, it's the things that you haven't had a chance to process throughout the course of the day.
Your mom is just as smart as Sad Guru.
Hi, well, I'm going to have to tell her. Well, maybe I won't tell her. I don't
She can
want
be
her
happy
head-
mommy.
Pardon?
You can be Sad Guru. You won't have to tell her because she watches our feed, right?
Right? Obviously.
Yeah, my whole family does too. They love me.
My mom actually, when I was doing my, well, it used to be Tune In and Tune Up Thursday, and now it's become Connection with Intention. But when I was doing my live reading show, she would watch the whole show, and she was Troll Patrol because I would get lots of trolls on. I so wanted to get her a shirt that said Troll Patrol, probably with like a little puppy, like Troll Patrol, here she comes.
Should be a kitten with your mom.
It could be a kitten. She's pretty cute.
I see her as a gray calico kitten.
Yes.
It's very specific, I know.
We used to have some cats when I was little. They used to pee on me, so I was never really a big cat fan. Right. Anyway, moving on.
Peed on by a cat? Okie dokie. Julia thinks I should do the dance, and Tammy thinks I should do the dance.
Excellent. Good. Yes, and Carrie can envision it. So, I mean, Carrie can see it. Ruth's saying to do it too.
Oh my gosh, I guess I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, in the tummy, that's your solar plexus chakra telling you have a power that you're not realizing. It's in the video.
We'll have to make sure that we share that to our Universal Connections page as well, because I don't know that they're always shared there. So we'll have to share all of your
Well, I
videos.
never share my YouTube videos to the Universal Connections page because
Me?
I feel as though because I always think of that as the Erin Bobbi page. And if I put something that's just Bobbi, I am being an arrogant dink. That's what I think.
Then I'll just start posting things that are just Erin too, and then it will be both of us.
Okie dokie.
So,
because people love us both. Hello, Carrie.
Yeah.
We got you person, Carrie, right there.
and Carrie's talking about bigger tips. Good Lord, I'm not 100% sure.
That wasn't a miss.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah. Oh, and
I don't think she meant to misspell that.
Yeah. And Corinne said, my son passed 12/23, and so it goes. Christmas has not been the same. I always set a place for him at the holiday dinners. Yeah.
I hope he throws a dime on your plate this year.
Yes.
Or something. But I actually have a feeling you actually get a little something every time.
Yeah.
Might actually be more of a win situation.
I just heard chocolate, which I mean could be a win situation.
It could be. Yes. Yeah. It could be too. If it's her son, maybe when he says wind, he breaks wind and there's a yucky smell and he thinks that's hilarious. It could be that.
Yeah.
Flaunting my cuckoo. Rose is going to start flaunting her cuckoo.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. That might just become like a bumper sticker. Here I am flaunting my cuckoo.
My cuckoo is my favorite thing to do.
Ooh, Ooh, Carrie, that's a great question.
And we both right at the same time.
At the same time. Ooh. So okay, so
Wow, that's funny. You know why?
well,
Okay,
hold
do you
on.
want to read your question for everyone to know?
Yeah, I want to read it so everybody knows what we're talking about because we haven't let the cat out of the bag yet. So Carrie has a big question and she's asking, is any other dimension physical like the Earth is?
Dun, dun, dun. And it's funny because I grabbed this today when when I was setting up. There it is. Now, I was attracted to this because of the
The cat?
yeah,
Is it an ashtray though?
no, it is
Okay.
a wishing bowl.
Oh, that makes way more sense. I'm like, I haven't seen an ashtray in years.
I would never put an ash in this beautiful thing. And
Right?
okay, so one of the reasons I bought it, well, one, it had Marie on it.
Mhm.
I was like, oh my goodness, apparently that's for me. And then the artist, because I bought it from an artisan called Clay Roots,
Mhm. Cool.
yeah, at Philburg Festival. And she told me this was the Seven Sisters.
Oh,
Yeah, and
cool.
it was right when I was coming to this idea that we actually have seven worlds. And
Mhm.
that leads me into the whole physical world idea.
Absolutely. Lay it on us.
Because I don't know very much about it, but I do see, I actually think this might be one of the worst, but I kind of see there's one that kind of is a little bit worse.
Mhm.
And then I actually will want to concentrate on the most. Guess which one? It's very elemental.
Of
Well,
course.
fairy world. I
Of
have
course.
a really hard time getting past that one.
Yep.
But to me, that feels physical.
Yes.
So that would be my answer. Yes, I think there is.
Yeah.
Yes, I think there's a
Yeah.
fairy world. Now, what
Well,
about you?
yes. Well, I mean, like I look at it as more in realms. I mean, like the
Yeah.
fairy realm is definitely a physical realm. They're very close to us. And I would also put into that realm like the mermaids and dolphins also as being part of that, and unicorns as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, from that perspective, I would definitely see that there are other physical realms. It's really interesting because I think that I may have taken that a little more literally than what Carrie was asking because
Okay.
I mean, like I go into more like outer space, like into other worlds that I believe are on different levels of existence, energetic planes of existence, but that there's still a very physical component. So I'm not sure that I've answered the question that Carrie
So
was
when
asking.
you mean other worlds, are
Mhm.
you actually, because I immediately saw the pyramid that I see.
Okay, yeah,
The fact that it's us, the dead, spirit guides, angels, the
right.
like a hierarchy.
Yeah.
So is that the other worlds, or are you like on an Arcturian Palladian sort of idea?
Yeah, like I'm heading out, yeah, more
Which and which? And
pardon?
I actually wonder about those ones as to
Mhm.
whether or not they are you know what I mean? That they're all actually interconnected.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yeah.
with
Well,
that.
I mean, I think that all of our worlds are interconnected. Like I think that they all just kind of lay on top of each
Well,
other
when
in
you
time and
think of like an
space.
Arcturian and Palladian idea, though, do you
Mhm.
actually see the angels and source over top of that and ascended masters? Or do you see that as separate? That's in our world, and then they have their own hierarchy of spirit.
I don't know that I'm the best person to ask, but what I see is it feels like they're separate, but also together.
Okay.
So yeah, so I mean, I guess honestly, I don't think that I've explored it enough to be able to say one or the other because I do see that there is like a separation, that it is different, but I also see it coexisting as well. Kind of reminds me of superhero movies. Actually,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
again, like I don't know enough about this, but I know that there's like the DC comic world
Yeah.
and the Marvel world, and they each have
Universe.
their own universe, right? But they've also had crossovers where they
Mhm.
exist together in the same universe at the same time.
Yeah, a Hulk can go from one, and Wolverine can as well. Yeah, yeah, yes, and they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, yeah,
So
I agree.
so Bobby, yes, you're right on it. So I think that there was a time that perhaps they existed or that we existed separately from them. I maybe I just don't know enough to
No,
put it
I get you.
together.
I totally get you. And to be perfectly honest, I try to stay somewhat separated from the human
Mhm.
ideology that tries to explain it to me.
Mhm.
When I read it, they go, "No, human, because they're putting their human thing on it. Oh,
Mhm.
but the thing that I actually see that to me is symbolic of its existence is the blue and the red. Two
Oh.
colors, blue and red. I started seeing them at the beginning of the pandemic, and now I see them everywhere. And we put them everywhere.
Dang.
If a cop is behind you, he is flashing blue and red.
Right.
Republicans and Democrats are blue and red. We see blue
Yeah.
and red a lot.
All the
And
time.
I just picked out, actually liberals and conservatives are blue and red as well.
Yes. Yeah, they
Actually,
are.
it's the other way. Conservatives are blue and liberals are red. Whereas then, so there's not good and bad. There's just
Yeah.
this one and that one.
Right.
So I don't think because yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do see it, and I do see myself as blue. I see you as blue too, to be perfectly honest.
And when you said that, I heard the blue da ba dee ba da ba na na dee.
I don't know this song.
You don't know the blue
Oh, Blue's Clues?
song?
No.
No.
No? All I know is True Blue by Madonna.
No, it's Eiffel 65, and it came out in like the early 2000s, late 99, early 2000s. Blue da ba dee ba. Living in my blue world. I'm not doing this any justice. Maybe we shouldn't do the dancing.
Just dancing. Okay. Does anyone else know this song? The early 2000s is when there was something else. So I might, have missed the song because I was too busy breastfeeding and, human.
Yeah, you probably instead of like dancing and clubbing.
Yeah,
I
no,
will find it. I'm sure you'll recognize it.
yeah,
I'll send
come
it
at
to
me
you.
with some Dora Explorer stuff. And I'll be like, yeah, I remember that from then. Yeah.
Blue, blue. That's awesome.
At the map. Anyway.
Awesome.
Yes, you're
And
right, Carrie.
Carrie, pardon?
Carrie says share it increases our knowledge.
Yes, and the tip for dinner, and she was talking about your dirty mind.
Okay, so that's hilarious because we both thought she wrote tits. So
I was using your dirty mind with that. Mine's innocent and pure. It never would have been my mind.
Oh, we have a new person.
Hi, I was gonna say iffy.
You know what? After I said "ife," I heard "iffy" in my head. So I'm sorry if we've mispronounced your name.
But we are so grateful that you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we love our Orkellians, but we always like new Orkellians.
Yes, absolutely. And Carrie's asking, do you think we can physically touch and feel like we can here?
Oh,
I
yes.
I think that we can. I think we feel, but maybe differently.
Yeah, it might be very different, but I see physical touching in my head
Mm-hmm.
when I am in those places.
Very
A
cool.
little bit. But okay, because even the dead, they
Yes.
they couldn't feel physically with each other on the other side.
And I think of one of the primary ways that I experience them, and I experience them through touch. Like they'll touch my shoulder, or they'll stroke my hair, or they'll kiss the forehead, or like I'll feel their presence next to me. So they're giving very physical sensation experiences to let us know that they're around.
That's why being in the room with an earthbound that wants you to know they're there is so flippin' creepy. Even
because you feel it.
you can feel it. Unless I'm there under the idea of I'm getting you.
Right.
I'm just in the room and I'm like, oh, there is an earthbound in here. Because they did it. Yeah, there's like that strange person who wanted to have a tickle fight, that person. Yeah. Anywho, yes, okay.
And I love how Kareen and Carrie both got aliens out of what we were talking about, because that's totally where I was going.
Yeah, that's where I was going. We call them aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you can be politically correct with aliens. but I always hesitate to use that word because I just assume that it's, just not an appropriate word. So if you guys know of better general words to describe that, please let me know, because I know that there are people, our Kellyan's, who are way more knowledgeable in this than I am, and I would love to hear from you.
Me too. We should have some folks on. So
I have the perfect person to come on to talk about star seeds. I actually I was on her podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I will be sharing that once she's ready to share it. So I've got the hookup.
I think JC.
Sorry?
JC. She's one of our Raquelians.
Hi, JC.
With the word starseed. Like,
starseed. Yes. Yeah. It's a great world.
And I forgot the other thing I was going to ask you. So obviously it wasn't very important.
Yeah. And Jerry's just kind of confirming. She's saying, other words, definitely, also other solar systems. And we'll live other lifetimes on them too. Yeah, absolutely. Completely.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree completely. Yeah, I don't think we even have the first idea of what it is, only because we are fettered by these minds still.
Yeah.
So everything that you look at will be colored by the mind.
Yes.
It will be put in human way.
Yes. And this has been a controversial idea when I have shared it, but I'm going to share it here anyway.
Controversial.
And one of the things that I have seen with lots of things is the humanity that caves things in. So things start, like religion or other things, will start with the best of intentions and pure intentions, and things will grow and build. And eventually humanity and greed, because that's part of the ego self, comes in and it collapses upon itself. And I see it over and over and over again, and it collapses. And even though we're not talking about like an intention, I think that the same thing happens when we start to explore things that are outside of our experiences. Things just from like a human point of view, it just starts to kind of collapse on itself, because either we don't have the capacity to see and experience it, or we haven't had enough exposure to it to develop the broadness that is required in order to fully experience it.
I have seen it, therefore I know it, therefore it is true.
Right.
I've seen this before. When we have not seen something before, we lose our collective.
Right.
We all saw that in the last 3 years.
Yes.
I mean, that lockdown was supposed to be such a good thing for everyone. It was a reset. Everyone could sit and meditate and just be. And it scared the living crap out of everyone instead, is what it did. Because anyway, I figured out what I was supposed to say to you too.
Oh, please. Yeah.
You don't like to call them aliens because alien denotes something that is foreign.
Yes.
And they're not actually foreign.
Yeah.
They actually tell me elders. I don't want to use this word, but they want me to use this word.
Yep.
Ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I didn't want to use that word is because of I don't have the right to. I have ancestors. I do. Being white sucks. Okie dokie. Hello, Debbie McDonald.
Oh, hold on a second. I think that we also missed Rose. So Rose has said, I think of it like radio channels and frequencies, but for perceivable worlds. Like if you have ever tuned a radio to the exact in between of two different stations and you can hear both. I love that.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah.
And actually, sometimes you hear just the better parts of both.
Indeed.
Then it's a terrible situation to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we can even go on that with, if that is the frequency, then you can choose which one you can hone in
on, tap into.
I wanted to say zoom.
I know.
That's the wrong word. Zone in on. Because it's actually what meditation I used to teach folks. You put on a piece of music and say, attach yourself to one part, only one part, and then just follow that all the way through.
Oh, that's a really cool meditation.
Oh,
that'd be
great meditation. I was taught it by Kavita Maharaj, who taught me to be a yogi.
Yeah.
Greatest name ever. I get to name times over. Kavita Maharaj.
That's beautiful.
Bobbi Rowntree. Choose that. Anyway.
I mean, I just think about how you experience like your extrasensory, your psychic ability, and a lot of that is clairaudient. And to me, that's a beautiful clairaudient meditation, to follow a sound and to hone in on that sound, because how beautiful is that, to start to learn to hone in on what is coming inside rather than all of the external sounds, and to be able to develop that. What
Yeah, my biggest hurdle was actually not visualizing the sound.
Which is your other.
Everything else.
Yeah.
When I hear the music and I hear a certain music, I actually start seeing, oh, there's elephants dancing to that music. That's what I'll, it's always a Disney movie in here. So, 'cause it's always a Disney
You
movie.
know, better a Disney movie than a horror movie. Like,
It would never be a whole movie.
that'd be a whole different story.
We've had enough of that crap. So no, not into that. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I see. Pat's not feeling the unit. Yeah, I think, would it be everyone raise their hand if they feel disconnected right now?
Holla.
I know y'all raised your hands.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's such an unusual feeling, and I think everybody's feeling kind of disconnected. So, what can we do for ourselves personally to reconnect? I keep hearing grounding, because the more that we ground, the deeper our roots are, the easier it is to balance everything else that's going on up here.
Absolutely. I agree. And connection, I believe, is somewhat grounding as well. But I actually was just counseling someone, and they told me to tell this person to internally ground, which is the instruction I was given not too long ago. Because I said, my God, how much grounding do I actually, like, I plant stuff, I own a house, they're like, yeah, that's great. It's all outside of you, stupid. You got to ground in here.
Exactly.
This is how guys talk to me. Talk to me like I'm talking to me. That's pretty much it. Grounding. I so often think of grounding as outside of me. Like, I'll have a crystal that's round. I'll grab this. Oh,
yep.
See, and
all of the rest of them come too.
Everyone come to the grounding. But really, this is just a reminder and a help for grounding. It's not really going to do much, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. So I actually, inside of me and down, and I see it coming out of my bum.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I see it. I see roots coming out of my legs and finding their way throughout the earth. And then I see a big crystal coming out of my tuchus to go to the earth, like a kaboom.
I just keep hearing like the mother egg.
I wonder, yeah. I'm pretty sure I hit the core of the earth.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, roots are always a really big imagery one for me as well. And that's a big one.
Yes. Yeah, roots are a huge one. Actually seeing the tree roots. Yeah. And I always see it as a very bloody red. I see actual like darkness in it. A little bit, like it's shining through underneath the darkness. Yeah. That's the way I see it. Yeah. It's one of those exciting ones, that chakra.
Yeah. Hold on a second. We've got a scammer on.
Is that a naughty person?
Yeah. So I apologize. I just noticed that she's commented on to Claudia. So Claudia, my apologies for that. I've just found them and I've just deleted them. So
sorry, Claudia.
Yeah, sorry about that. And it looks like there was another comment possibly as well. So our apologies, guys. We try to keep this a really safe space for you and catch them as soon as we can. Yeah. Oh, Jerry's got a great question. Have you done a meditation to the sounds of a heartbeat? That's profound.
Yeah, actually, have done that one too, to the sounds of the heartbeat. Yeah, you name it, I may have meditated to it.
Very cool.
Because as a yogi, it was part of, and I used to teach meditation. So I'm teaching. I have to make it exciting. So I think all the different ways and things like that. We'd always end up doing like the same. It actually always ended up almost like a group session. Like, yeah, I've actually felt a call to do it again.
Yep.
To teach meditation, because meditating in a group of folks, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
I actually just heard it's a mind orgy.
But it's so incredibly powerful
Oh,
and
absolutely.
calming and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely and absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are
Awesome.
all aliens in a way. That's true, Chantel.
Oh, I must have missed Chantel's
It's
comment.
right up there. Now, and Jerry has also said, call them energies.
Mm-hmm.
Are you what? Which one are you referring to?
I think probably like alien, extraterrestrial, other beings on other planets and other levels.
Okay, okay. I wasn't sure
Energies.
if she meant people on the other side.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that this is going back to the conversation we had before because I had asked for help. How should I be referring to those on other planets and other levels? So
Oh, okie dokie. Yeah, no one's
yeah.
ever asked me that. But I have been told that I have been told by people that when I say the dead,
Yeah.
they're offended.
Right.
So I've been trying to not say it.
Yeah.
But and can I just say this? The dead don't give a and that's the last time I'll say that. Anyway.
Awesome. And I just want to
That was another
see.
role. Thank you for the clarification, Jerry. You are correct.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That's perfect. And I just realized that we've come to the end of our comments, but I still have a question left over from last week. And it was from Rose. So I'm so excited that you're here, Rose. Rose was asking about recommendations on incorporating daily practices to strengthen connection and discernment in communication with guides.
What a
Now,
damn good question.
right?
Yeah.
And as I was writing it down, I was positive that we hadn't spoken about it, but now I'm kind of wondering if we did. But at the same time, it feels like it's a good one to go over again if we did. So
It bears repeating,
it does.
as the saying goes.
It
Yes.
does.
Okay. So daily, actually, we did talk about it because we talked about gratitudes.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. I want to see if there's anything else that comes up because I know that we didn't talk about breaths.
Yes.
So
Or
slowing down,
ability.
taking breath.
We
Did
did
we?
not talk about ability.
Ability.
Yeah, so by that, I believe what they mean in my head is that we all have certain abilities. And we
Mm-hmm.
all hear and bring in the stimuli in particular ways that are actually completely and absolutely individual to us, like our voices.
Mm-hmm.
I believe even twins have different voices.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that they hear the other side, the way that they get their psychic information will be actually genuine just to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm hearing in my head, that you can do what everyone else does, but then you actually have to put the caveat on that, oh yeah, by the way, it's me today. And I would like to know how I hear you. Things like that.
Absolutely.
Because I am different than Trudy and I am different than Carol and I am me. So that's actually what I hear.
Beautiful. And
Very
I would go in a slightly different direction in that I would say that we all have the ability to receive in all different ways. That we have ways that are easier, like we're more naturally inclined. So like for example, for me, I know and I feel and those are my natural, that's what my natural inclination is, but I also see and hear and I smell and I taste as well. It's just that those aren't as strong for me. One of the things that I do notice that can be kind of cool is when I'm doing readings and I'm receiving messages for someone, I can tell very quickly if that person is highly clairvoyant because all of the messages that I get are visual. It's like they're not using my usual pathways. They'll use the pathway so that when I give them the information, they'll understand it because it was given to me in a way that they can understand. I'm like,
yeah.
brilliant, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes it's none of your damn business.
Yeah.
And they want to do it in a roundabout way to protect the person that you're reading. That's why I so often say, does that make sense to you? Because that don't make sense to me. And people go, that totally. I'm like, oh, thank God. At least one of us knows what's going on.
And that's it. Well, two of you know.
Too, yeah.
We're just odd man out.
Living creatures right here. That's
Yeah.
true, Mandel. Everybody has abilities that fit into their mission.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why it's all individual because everybody's here to do something different.
Yeah.
even if you're here to do the exact same, like you and I are here to do the exact same thing,
Yep.
but
different
we do it
pathways.
differently because we are different.
And that leads me into this one that I had written down that I was like, I wanted to talk about this as well. Intuition is the pathway to connection and communication. And what that is intuition is the ways that we receive like our messages for ourselves. So we've already talked a little bit about it, like clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairaudience, like hearing, seeing, feeling, knowing. But those are the same pathways that we use to connect with deceased loved ones, to connect with angels, to connect with psychic ability, to like medical mediums. That's what they use. So those pathways are all the same. It's just different energies walk down them.
Yeah, they just throw people in a mall.
Those weren't my words. I'm like, where did that come? So it came from
you. Yeah, I'm so used to, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I saw people in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
So not everyone's going to choose that store, that store, that store, but that store, that store, that store exists because the people behind you are choosing those zones.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? A little
I
bit?
think that totally makes sense.
It's just which one you're paying attention to when you're in the pathway.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
practice makes perfect.
It does. And one of the things that I found is the more that you recognize that you're receiving a message and the more that you act upon it, the more messages that you'll get, the easier the whole process becomes. And I've been sharing this a bit recently with people, but it really is like spirit, angels, source, whatever your belief system is, whoever you're wanting to connect with. They're kind of like standing at the front of a room with their microphone and they're going like, testing, testing, is this thing on? And if you're sitting there and you're like, what? I don't know, then they're like, okay, testing, testing, is this thing on? And you're, I don't know. And so you end up in a phase of just going back and forth. Like they're like, is this thing on? And as soon as you respond back, yes, because you're listening to them and then you can start to have a conversation, then things move forward. So the more that you recognize that you're receiving messages and the more that you take action when you're being called to take action, the more messages get, because it's like universe is like, yes, they're receiving the messages. We can give them more.
Yes. And once you do that, you need to continue.
Yep.
Don't turn it off, because I have people come to me. I was hearing, I was doing so well, and then I got all human and started getting all blah 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 blah, and now I'm here.
And you just need to go back and do the things that you were doing before.
And sometimes they change.
Yeah.
Like you hear them a certain way, but then you grow.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, yeah, we're over here now because you're over here now.
Yeah.
Why are you still going to the same place? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? It's like you've graduated to grade 5, but you keep going back to your grade 4 desk. And your grade 4 teacher's like, get out. You're huge. Get
done. We're done.
Yes, done.
And, I mean, looking at it from like a vibration level, right? Like they vibrate way up here and they're fast and we're kind of down here. But when you raise your vibration up, they don't need to yell as much. They don't need to be as loud.
Right
so the messages can be a lot more subtle. And so it could be that you're actually receiving lots of messages and even more messages than you were receiving before. It's just that they aren't as loud as they were before.
And you're expecting them to come with glitter and
yeah.
They do sometimes come with but it's in here and it's
that's right.
I'm like, no, I can't hurt you. It's alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Awesome. And we've got one more question from Ruth. And you're like, what's so question I was going to ask? Oh, when you're sick, is it harder for you guys to read?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I find when I'm sick, every symptom I have goes away during my reading.
Mm-hmm.
And the second the reading's over, I collapse into a ball of illness.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's true for me. I mean, for me, it depends on the type of sick. If we're talking like head congestion and like flu and stuff, then I would say that for sure. Like if I'm feeling unwell on an emotional level, because so much of what I receive is through emotion, it's really difficult for me to be able to put it off to the side. And so like this past week, I took time off and I rearranged some appointments because I wasn't in a place where I was able to read, because there's a huge amount of energy and capacity that you need to have in order to be able to be there to support someone else. And sometimes if you don't have it, then it's not beneficial to your client, and it's definitely not beneficial to you either.
Yeah, they'll get less of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we've got one more question. Rose is asking, what does it mean when manifesting and asking for specific signs and then you keep getting half or almost signs?
Maybe
I
you're not
hear that is
what's supposed to be manifested for you.
I was gonna say keep going. So I mean, like it feels like it could be a couple of different things.
And it could be a different kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I actually even know what Rose is talking about. I think she's actually talking about her career choice and what she wants to do, what she wants to be, and where she wants to go.
Yeah.
And yeah, only because I can see certain things in my life where I get married to what I think is the result is that's supposed to be happening.
Right.
Rather than the result that is happening for me.
Right.
Does that make a little bit of sense?
Absolutely. And
you don't always know what the outcome is supposed to be.
Exactly. And I kind of see it as being like a universal game of warmer and colder. Like halfway warmer and warmer. Like have you asked for enough? Right? Or they're saying like, yeah, you're on the right track and getting off the track that you were on before. So let's give you something to keep you going. It's not exactly what we want you to do, but you're on the right track.
Okay. Yeah, because when I think of hot cold, I think, okay, it's near the bookcase, obviously.
Yeah.
General area, because you're warmer, getting warmer, getting warmer.
Yeah.
So I'm in the idea, but I don't quite have the specific thing that I need. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think we're actually kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, and Rose is saying it's more about a person. And I mean, I think what I think about is people who manifest relationships, like partnerships, romantic partnerships. And and for some reason this might be a little different. It doesn't work out. And I'm like, okay, well, what did this give you? This has shown you what is possible. So maybe you have a partner that has been better than any other partner, but they're still like, it's still just not working. There's still some really big fundamental thing. Universe is saying like, hey, it can come into your life that quickly, or it can come into your life that easily, or that unexpectedly. And on top of that, it can be all of these wonderful things. So like, don't give up hope. There's still more to create. There's still more to manifest. Or
you were at that point where that is what you manifested towards you. And grown a little bit. And your manifestation needs to go to a different level.
Yeah. And that maybe there's something to work with the person who you've manifested. Like if it is
absolutely, because we could go into relationships and how people expect their spouse to make everything better.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a horrible thing to put on a human being.
Well, I mean, I think about in our culture, like getting married and having a partner and being in relationship is like the be all end all. And this person is your other half. And it's not possible for one person to fulfill all of your needs, or for you to fulfill all of the needs of another person.
It is possible for one person to fulfill all your needs.
It's you.
100%. Your spouse is like the icing on your cake. They're not your person. They're not your person.
Yeah.
And you can't expect them to be your person. Now I saw something that made sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What Rose said. Yes, that's right. And Chantel's right too. Something actually, sometimes we think that is the best thing for us. And actually the universe is like, you sell yourself short, friend. It's that's the best thing for you. And that's why this isn't working out, because you got to move it up. Yeah. Chantel's correct there. And Rose, I see I just haven't met you yet. That's the song that I heard in my head all the time when I kept seeing who was now my husband in my dreams. So I took it and I started moving and actually having those dreams while I was awake, consciously. and consciously making that dream happen. And also, too, Rose, you might be too young right now. You might not be at that point where he's at that point. Well, okay, you know what? They actually just showed me, showed me. Person who I didn't realize that I was moving towards and then started manifesting. When I was here, they were here. And they had to come to here for this to happen.
Yeah.
So he's sluggish.
Yeah.
He's there yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the most challenging things, I think, when it comes to manifesting a partner is maintaining your balance from where you are and continuing to grow. Like eventually they're going to catch up, or you're going to catch up. Like maybe you're the one who's not ready. Maybe they're vibing at such a high level. It's like, hey, like catch up, keep going.
Yeah. Or maybe you don't know everything. I actually put that in my marriage. I think I called it marriage rescue or something like that.
Yeah.
Stop thinking that they're not doing their thing. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're taking all your insecurities and everything you dislike about you and you're plopping it on your spouse. And then you're expecting them to, well, we do that. Yeah. That's why we had so many divorces during the pandemic. People were staring at their spouse and saying, what did you do? Why are we locked in this house? What did you do? Because that's what they think. Yeah. And it kind of moves into what Tracy even asked us a little bit.
Yeah.
Wants to know if she'll ever find someone that will love her as much as she loves them. It's actually a beautiful want.
Yeah.
I want someone who I can give as much love as I have to and then receive it back from them. I would say like a mantra.
Yeah.
And hold some rose quartz in your face.
And I mean, even beyond that, have that as the expectation. I expect that I will meet someone who will love me as much as I love them.
Yeah, absolutely. And think about what that would mean to you. How it would feel to love somebody with all of that and how it would feel to receive it. That's what I meant by the little dates I would go on in the middle of the day. Yeah. Be driving in my car and I'm out on a date with who I now know is Vern. Yeah. And chatting with him and having like these conversations. And yeah, I had 3 kids on my own, for goodness sake. So I would get distracted. But the minute I would I'm waiting for one of them to come out of the school. Boop, I'm on a date. Watching them go down towards the lake and I'm sitting on the beach. Boop, I'm on a date. Things like that. That's what I would do. But I live in little worlds in my head a lot. My whole life.
I love it.
Yeah, I can even, if you see me and I'm just kind of, I'm in a world. Usually, actually, if I'm out in public and I'm like that, I'm actually in the middle of writing. And that's what I'm doing. I'm like looking at where we are in the book. And then, okay.
Put it in. Remember that for later.
Public places. Yeah, I don't know why. I just love writing in public places. I find it actually, because anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Well, you can't clean your house if you're in a coffee shop. You can't do this. You can't distract yourself with that. You just actually have to just do this. I can't even go on Facebook because I won't link with their Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
so I can't.
Perfect. That's smart.
Yeah. Anywho, that's just that. Okay, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling done. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think it's quite obvious that I've spun to the point of spun.
You've heard it here first, folks. Bobbi is well spun.
I'm well spun, and I'm really hungry. That's what it is. I didn't have my snack in between.
Oh my goodness, we need to get this woman some food to ground. And yes, beautiful. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure for us to be able to connect with you, and we're grateful for the time that you've taken out of your day to be here with us.
We love our Orachellians, and we're like, that's an actual thing. We love our Orachellians. We think you guys rock.
Yeah,
just the fact that you keep and you help us, and we help. Like it just, I think it's wonderful.
Thank you for being here. And
Thank
I'm
you
just
for being here.
I'm just also going to put it out there because I did have an imposter come on to my feed last week on our show at the end of the show. If you're watching or if you've been commenting on my Facebook page, I am going to be turning the comments off because otherwise I have people like soliciting readings, and they even created a Facebook page that looked like my Facebook page. And anyway, doesn't matter. It's over and done with, but I turn the comments off on my Facebook feed so that people can't be solicited there.
Honestly, I think you should take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I know it's gross and it feels like they just stuck their hand in your undies.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, if you want to like do your own thing and whatever, it's just more that I want people who are in my community and on my page to be safe
Yeah,
from things that are very predatory. And so that's where I become upset with it. I could care less if you're impersonating me. It's more what you're doing to other people. So that's where that for me comes from.
I totally agree. And anyone who solicits a psychic reading from you, run away.
Yeah.
There's so many psychics out there.
There's so many opportunities.
None of the real ones actually need to solicit anything from you.
And the other thing is, now it is the easiest it has ever been to connect with people if you are a psychic and to put yourself out there. It is the most open. We have the most channels and the most resources to do it. There's no need to come on to find people. So
true. Absolutely true. And all you have to do is say, send me the people who need me, and knock, 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 they come to the door.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Oh.
So that's why if you see that comment and you can't comment on my post, that's why. So thank you all so much for joining you, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, thank you, Orachellians. We appreciate you like nobody's business. And in the week, if you want us to like do certain topics or anything like that, please feel free to message either one of us or even just message us on the Universal Connections.
Look at that. We just had another one.
Isn't that funny?
We were just talking about people like you.
Talking about you piece of
all right. You've been blocked, and we'll see. We'll see you later.
Wow.
All right. Okay. Well, I see that as a call to sign off. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. And namaste.
Namaste. I remember.
Oh, and don't forget to vote for Bobbi.
Oh yeah, please vote for me so that we can do this thing and be like loud and proud out on the and it's a daily vote thing.
Awesome.
It's every day. It's not once and that's it. It's actually daily vote. I know that's a pain in the arse, but they're free votes off your Facebook.
We will post it on the Universal Connections Facebook page.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. And I have the breast cancer thing too. I'm not just telling you to do it, not doing it myself. Okay, thanks, Erin. Sorry.
That's okay. Bye, everybody.